I haven't said something weird in a while.
Next comic, give it loud everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're gonna have the next comic. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
Why, hello everybody, welcome to an Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne. And we are here today by our fucking selves. And we thought that it would be a great time to do a fantastic episode where we talk about how shitty we used to be at doing the podcast and how slightly less shittier we are at doing it now. I mean, as you guys notice, how beautiful I can sing the intro now. I could never do that before. It's a brand new skill. But anyways, they say that your body is 70% water. But how do you account for all the piece of shit that's inside of Wayne? How you doing, buddy?
I think the shit would be 70% water as well, would it not?
What's the plural for shit? Is it shite? Sheets? Shits?
Shits? I think it's shits. Well, I don't know. If you walked into a room with a bunch of different piles of shit, would it be, look at all the shits? Or would it be, look at all the shit? Look at all the shitses?
But you know what? I'm gonna push back on your the shit being 70% water. It is, but
only after Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's my point. By the amount that you've emulsified into it at that point, it's no longer water. It's molecularly changed. We're talking about something that's like gagnon, or whatever the fuck they would call that mineral that your asshole would produce. Element 115.
Gagnon. I have no idea what gagnon is.
I don't know. I made it up. That sounds like a mineral, though, doesn't it? Element?
Maybe.
Gagnon. That's Wayne's asshole chemicals, everybody, for the reference. I'm on a tangent. You got to pull me back, or I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to tell you right now, if if Joe Lights comes on Friday, he's going to be very upset with you if he hears this.
Here's what? Oh,
that's
my
his last
God,
name.
That's his last name.
Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. Well, I just meant like, no, I'm not. I was going to say like, gagging on, because we're gagging on your asshole fumes, and I was like, oh,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's kind of still shitting on Joe's last name inadvertently. Well, I call him Joe Lights, so this last name doesn't matter to me. Okay, no one cares.
What are we doing here today?
What are we doing? So, we were trying to say we were getting better at this.
Clearly that's false.
We're just more comfortable. We don't care anymore. That's definitely... The more you do it, the less you care, folks. That's the start of it. No, I wanted to talk about how, one, we got into it. So what got us going on this podcast? So we always ask the guest what got them going in comedy, and we've talked about what got us going. But we didn't really talk about the origins of the podcast. How would we fuck it up in the beginning? How do we settle in? Because you're always going to do stuff wrong in the beginning. You know, maybe we'll throw around what equipment we use and stuff like that, just in case anybody out there wants to also say the vile words that we say to, you know, sometimes 50 people. Huh? Do you want your aunts to text you and say, what the fuck are you saying? You could, if you listen to us. So, Wayne, what made you go, I am not uninteresting. I'm so fucking interesting that I'm going to talk for hours at a time, and I think that people want to hear it.
I honestly don't know. I'm trying to remember how this all started. When we started stand-up, I think it was just like a random thought when we were chatting one day, like, we should start a podcast about this whole ordeal. And after researching it and finding out there was nothing there, you pulled the big dick move and bought me this beautiful mic right here for my birthday. With a little note saying, let's start a podcast. And that was kind of it. That was.
I put a heart in it. You didn't say the heart. So
I forgot about the heart.
You piece of shit. Is your birthday in May?
It's in May, yeah.
So we started in March. So this is 2 months in, because we started right around then.
Yeah, this podcast dropped on June 11th of 2023.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is, you know what this is like? This is like when I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, yeah, we got married in August. And she's like, August fucking 20th, you dickhead. Like, God damn it. I don't know if that's it. That I don't remember. But you remember, Wayne.
It means
So
watch
June-
me. So
Well, that's good. That's lame. June 11th. Okay. I see. I'm trying to fit the timeline together here because June 11th, we're going to be coming up on a year. So we're like 8 months in the game. And in 8 months, we've done an average of, I'd say, 1.5 episodes a week because we started with 2.
started with 3.
So we started with 3 episodes a week.
We were doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like 20, 25-minute episodes.
First lesson. Don't do that.
Don't fucking do
That's
that.
too much. Yeah. Way too much. So that's the first thing we fucking learned, not to do that many goddamn episodes. 1 episode is good. I think, I don't want to call essential, but I think to be, like, I think you need to be consistent. Maybe that's a good lesson to that we've learned from, is being consistent on your timing when you release all that stuff.
Yeah, so one thing that I wanted to do right off the bat, so I listened to a podcast called Sacred Symbols, which is a PlayStation podcast run by Colin Moriarty, who used to work for IGN, doesn't matter. But he's talked about podcasting in the past, and one of the things he said is, if you want to make it podcasting, or if you want your best shot, one, just keep doing it, because most podcasts don't make it past the first year. People just drop off. Number 2, be consistent. If you're going to come out on Mondays and people are going to look forward to you being out on Mondays, keep going Mondays. Don't do Monday, then Wednesday next week, and then maybe it's Friday because you didn't have time to edit it, and make sure it's boom, here it is, boom, boom, boom. And we've stayed pretty true on that schedule, with the exception of one coming up for good reason on both of those. But yeah, that was something that I felt pretty strongly about, was making sure that it was if you're looking forward to listening to this, it's going to be on this day.
Yeah, and I think we should put a disclaimer in as well that this is a advice video on how to make a evidentiarily unsuccessful podcast, because we haven't done shit. But we are, so just take everything with a grain of salt that we don't know what we're talking about. But this is more, this is a documentary, baby. So we're going to talk about everything, not just our comedy faults, but how we fucked up on here and stuff like that.
That kind of comes to the the other part of it too, which is just have fun. Like for me, and I'm sure for you too, but this is just another night out with my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have our nights going out, doing open mics and occasionally shows together. That's great. But this is a night once a week, sometimes twice a week, where we get to chat for an hour and a half, and many times with very interesting people. So that's another important part, is just have fun with it.
Yeah, if you were at home and you were wondering when Wayne was going to say just have fun with it in this instructional video of how to do something, drink now. I knew it was coming, you fucking asshole.
Mike Atrobus, take another shot. Let's have fun, motherfuckers.
Yeah, keep going.
Stop talking to the back of the bar.
Yeah, shut up. All right. Okay. So this is, I think, my thought on it. It's a little different. It's a little less clingy than you just sounded. So I think that doing a podcast is fantastic, because a lot of people say that in order to progress in comedy, it is really important to go out multiple times a week to do sets and to work on comedy. And I agree with that. I think it is important. You do need to go out and do that. Of course, you can have fun going way less, but repetition increases skill. It just is what it is. And I think that the podcast is not, it's not like going and doing a set, but it keeps your comedy brain alive. We're trying to be funny. We talk about comedy the whole time. We interview comedians when we do it. So, this is like, we're married. We have kids. This is a good way to get a rep in, because you can do it from home and still get that kind of idea going. So that to me is, when someone's like, how many times you go out a week? I'm not considering this, I wouldn't say it as that, but in my head, I'm like, this kind of counts, because we're fucking, we're talking bits, we're talking all that shit. So
Gets you comfortable in front of a mic too. Go back and listen to the first couple episodes, like me and you, in both here and on stage. I don't think that happens nearly as much, and it does come with repetitions on both. But I think just being comfortable in front of a microphone, one way or another, this definitely helps.
That is interesting. And this is not a podcast thing, obviously, but if you listen to our first sets, We do say 1,000 times, much slower, all that stuff. And if someone asks, like, hey, if I do comedy, will it happen? You're like, yes. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know why that you can't not have that happen to you. But that's just when you first start talking into a microphone. I think what it is, you might think of every word you're going to say. Like, you're thinking, what's the next one? What's the next word? What's the next word? And I think that's where the ums come in, is to help you, give you the pause of time to do that. And then I think eventually you're like, I am just going to fucking, like on this, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to go at 1,000 RPMs, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to try not to say
I think it also comes to, you want it to be good. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like,
but it's subconscious. So hard.
yeah. You want it to be good, so you're slowing down, and you don't want there to be any dead air or anything like that. So, no, you don't care. You just talk.
That is a very good thing too that we've changed, I think. So if you listen to our first couple of episodes, do not. They have points in them where there is a pause for a second, and then we are uncomfortably trying to fill the air for it, like Wayne just said. And now sometimes we'll just let it, like Wayne will, I'll shit on him and he'll just go fucking like blank stare. You know what I'm talking about? Just like he exactly, and he won't say a word, and I'll just let it go now. I'll just let it slide. I like the uncomfortable silence.
So this is kind of like a state of the podcast type of episode, and with that, we were going to talk about things that we loved and we weren't too fond of. I will say one of my favorite beginnings that we've had was just that. I had started recording early for some reason, and we had all this banter in the beginning. We were talking about your Chicken McNugget toy from McDonald's and a bunch of other shit. And I spliced together the beginning where you're like, do you want me to do it or do you want to do it? And I was thinking, I was like,
You want us to do it or you want me to do it?
I don't care.
Are we picking dinner and are you my wife?
I'll do it. I'll do it. It was one of my favorite things. Just the awkward stare from you and the silence from me. It just made me chuckle when I was going through the video. I was like, I fucking love that. That was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, if there's one thing about you, it's that you are an indecisive little bitch. And
sure am.
It's why we love you. But don't take them out to dinner, folks, because you're gonna have an aggravating time.
You know what it is?
At least
listen.
Once you get there, you're good.
Look at me. Like with dinner. All right, let's go to dinner. Do I look like I care what goes into my mouth?
No.
Yeah.
In
Put a
every
menu
way
in front of
that you
me,
can
and I
put
will
that
find
question.
something to eat.
Yep. Put anything in front of you, and it will go in there. I
It'll
understand.
slide right down. Just
The gullet, like a pelican.
yeah, like a pelican. Did I ever
Here's a
tell
question.
you?
Oh no, you go.
Can
first.
we go off on a little tangent here?
What's my middle name?
I know for a fact that this guy doesn't listen to the podcast, so I don't give a fuck. Two of the people might. I don't think they do, though. So I have a customer that has a, not too far from my house, they have a UPS driver who, let's just say he might have drank on the job. And one day he's out there.
If you're a UPS driver and you're not getting fucked up at the job, fuck you. Sorry, go ahead.
He fell asleep in the truck not far from my house because he's my UPS driver because it's my neighborhood. He I get stories for days about this guy, but I won't go into them all. But you saying like a pelican made me think of this. So he's at their shop and they're eating like Chinese food, right? So this guy has a fresh beef skewer and he takes a bite of it, but the whole thing comes off and is wicked hot. So instead of spitting it out, he like gobbles it up like a pelican. He's like, so it gets like halfway down his throat. Far enough where like it's not blocking his windpipe, but it won't go into his stomach and he can't cough it up. So like his spit and everything is just sticking like right in his throat. And he's trying to like cough it up and like whatever, he can't get it out. He has the bright idea, you know what? I'm going to eat a piece of chicken and that'll push it down. It didn't do that. So he ate the chicken and it just landed like right on top of the steak.
Fajitas. He makes fajitas in his throat.
So this guy worked the entire day like that, like dry heaving because he couldn't get it out. He worked the entire day. That was on a Friday. Went to try to sleep on the Friday night. He couldn't fall asleep. He was up all night dry heaving. Went all day Saturday and then tried to fall asleep on Saturday night because he didn't want to go to the hospital. Saturday night he couldn't fall asleep, so he ended up going to the hospital. And they're like, "What the fuck did you do?" He's like, "I was just eating some steak." They pull this whole fucking long piece of steak out. And they're like, "Yeah, you."
Wow.
What happened was his throat. One, he ate a gigantic piece of steak, but two, he drank so much that his throat was like closing in, so it couldn't go all the way down. And I was like, "God damn."
This is a tangent. Wow.
That is a tangent, but I think about that guy often because that's fucking hilarious. That's the second person I know that has swallowed a piece of steak big enough to go down their throat, get stuck and not block their airwaves and have to go to the hospital to have it surgically removed. And no, I was not the second person. Joe Lights knows the second person, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're slobs as Americans in general, and that's a slob-ass move to almost die of... So, would he be upset that you brought this up? No. Would he be upset if you told me how much he weighed? Would he fit in a canoe?
Oh, yeah.
Regular canoe.
Both of them would. Yeah, 100%.
And the water levels perfectly fine in the canoe.
I didn't say that, but they would fit in a canoe.
Okay.
No, they're not grossly overweight. Neither one of them are grossly overweight.
No. Are they...
You're trying to say, Wayne, do they look like you?
Yeah,
they're probably kind of like me.
Okay, all right. So potentially then they are
I chew my food.
low enough human beings where they would guzzle down meat from a steak that they cooked incorrectly for sure on their grill way too fucking hot, and then accidentally cooked a sizzling plate of Chili's fajitas in their throat, taking weeks, and then somehow running a business that you sell them shit to afterwards.
Well, no, this was the UPS guy. This wasn't them.
Oh, UPS guy! Holy shit!
This was their UPS guy.
Oh,
which makes it even better.
And he gets, wow, that is better.
Yeah.
I like this guy. This guy knows how to party. I want to see. Also, learn how to cook a steak.
I have some stories off air that I'll share with you because I don't want to get anybody in super trouble. But I have some stories.
Names,
I'll tell you.
you bitch.
Nope.
Is a UPS driver. That guy's doing so good right now. Did you see their fucking whatever they did? They like struck and they're like, give us $1 million a year, and they were like, well, packages need to be delivered. So all those guys are.
So a lot of my business is based off of UPS deliveries, and yeah, I know all about it because the prices are fucking outrageous.
It's true. Hey, they were like, oh well, down past the buck. Yep. Okay, you normally get us out of tangents. I feel like I got to get us out of this tangent, which is not my forte. Normally, I'm now going to talk about butt plugs or something like that. If you butt plug together two people, right, and you push them off of a cliff, and you catch them on a tree branch, and they hang down, they're dangling, right?
Like bum chucks.
Bum chucks! The name of our podcast is now Bum Chucks. I was like in the middle. I'm like, I gotta turn this around and bring it around really cleverly into that we're talking about a podcast, and I could not. I was like, where am I going? Okay, so what did you say the biggest mistake besides this episode have we done on the podcast? Because we've done things we've never done since. Like, we did the top 10 comedians that we liked. We never did anything like that again.
Which we should have. That was successful.
It was, yeah. People hated us for it, though.
No, it was divisive. You want divisive, right? You want people to talk about it. You want people to engage and say, no, you're wrong, and here's why.
They all did. Every single one of them. Not one person was like, good list. Everybody was like,
yeah, but it was our favorite. It wasn't like a top 10 definitive list of all time. It was these are our favorite comedians at the moment.
Yeah,
which we still have to get. Here's one of my big regrets. I'm sorry. That can regrets that can get rectified. Since we're speaking of bums, rectified.
Another great band or podcast name, Rectified.
We need Justin George, Nick Powell. And we need to redo that list.
Redo what? Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Because they both
I thought
talked
you were
about
talking
it.
about rectified.
They both gave us shit about it. So
They give shit about everything. I've never seen them not shitting out of their mouths.
that is true.
Okay.
You know, one that was a lot of fun, but I think was probably not a great listen was the Bert Kreischer one. When we were sitting in traffic, I had a blast. I'm not gonna lie. I had a blast with that one. That was a lot of fun. But I think a lot of people were like, "What
out of all of our videos, right?
What's that?"
Isn't it our number one video? Is the Bert Kreischer one?
It's one of them.
Yeah, technically, I think it is. Yeah, I mean,
And everyone's
sorry
like,
for
"What are these
suffering
guys doing talking in their car?"
We're like, I'm good, fucking everyone. Take my shirt off. It's sadder when I do it.
I had a blast with that though. That was a good day.
That was, we disagreed on it. So this is this is like, you know when the sitcom does a flashback episode where they're just like, remember the time when we, and then, and it goes back and does it. This is kind of what we're doing. And I hate those episodes. So I hope this comes out good. Because I'm doing the thing I hate right now. I said too. Fuck you.
And there's that. There's that silence.
Just needs an insult now.
So let's try to get a little more structured here. So what do we do that what?
You always, every time we need to quickly get on track, you're like, all right, let's get on structure. And then you're like, well, what do you, maybe?
So I was gonna say, what do we do that you really enjoy? Like, what is something that we do that you think is like, I think we do this really well. And one thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna cut you off there, is I think that kind of banter. I think the lovingly shitting on each other, although it's more one way than the other, but you're much better at it than I am. But I think that's fun. I like that. But what is something in your opinion that we do that you like and think we can do more of?
So I think that you are a naive piece of shit, but in a great way. So let me explain. You know when you see like when you see a kid enjoying, who looks older and he's enjoying baseball really hard at a local game, and you're like, wow, that guy's really into the game. You look at me like, oh, he's special. That's why he's liking the game so much. And then there's like a beauty to watching him enjoy it. It's wholesome. So if on the podcast level, sometimes when someone's going off on and they're like really altruistic and they don't like to shit on people because they're a good guy and all that, you get the same feeling. Very wholesome.
You kind of lost me there. What do we do well? Was that a compliment or a jab? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I did call you the R word technically, but in the nicest way possible. See how I did that? See how I disguised it? I disguised it so good by the end. You were like, I don't know whether to say thank you or what the fuck.
So I'm confused. Was that something that you think we do well? Is it, what?
Yeah, I love that. So that's what I think we do well. Is I think that I derail the question that you ask in a very absurd way, and that was a great example of it. You piece of shit.
All right.
Come on, that was like an inception to your question. How much better can I get there? I was like Michael Caine. I was like, you are a cunt, Batman.
One thing I think we can do better, we need a cunt counter.
Cunt counter 5,000.
If I had the time and energy, there would be a ding and a cunt counter at the top every episode.
Oh, cunt meter is going to be high.
We hit the barrier.
A minute and a half in when I said you're a cunt. I said, show them the cunt that you are.
Just a very cunty audience. That's right, Portland. Fuck you. I was behind him and I was like, is this guy being cunt? Is he saying the fucking C word instead of cunt? We are going to do an episode, which I'm not going to spoil what it's going to be, but we will address. Right? What are you making a noise for? You don't want to do it anymore?
No, absolutely. No, I was going to say, I think we we can have a section in here about the future of and different ideas we have that would fit very well into. We can do that now if you want to.
Yeah,
Fuck it, let's do it now.
Let's do it. We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's do it live. So we'll circle back to the other stuff. What in the future? Like what kind of episodes would you like to see in the future? I know we've talked about some different ideas, and you just teased one. What?
I know. Okay, I'm gonna explain it a little bit, but I'm not gonna. I'll give you this. I think that we should go more into the history of comedy a little bit more. Meaning, I think that if we bring an episode in where we describe the origination of, maybe the word bit. Where did the word bit come from, and who said it first, and where did it come, like things like that are really interesting comedy facts. I think that'd be good for more people, and that would be fun to get in here. Again, it's so hard because the point of this podcast is to document the stand-up careers of two people who are most certainly going to fail. So that's the whole point of the podcast, which is fantastic. So I like interviewing people. That's part of the game. I like the Mike Talks. I like the Bomb episodes. I am reluctant to do outside of that, but I think that it would be good. I just, that's my reluctancy. What about you?
So you kind of touched upon two things there. So I'm going to stick with the first part of it was, what would you like to see done in the future? So yes, the history of certain parts of comedy I think would be fantastic. I would like to see maybe... I haven't even brought this up to you yet, but see what you think. Maybe like a spotlight of a comedian, like a George Carlin. We do a little research on, hey, this is where George Carlin started. This is where he went and how his career trajectory went and all that. I think that'd be kind of a fun. And I think with something like that, maybe like you pick somebody, you do the research, and then you tell me his career. And I'm the dumb fuck going like, oh, tell me more. Then I have questions and you try to answer them. And then vice versa. Maybe I choose somebody else, Mom's Mabley or something, and I think that'd be kind of a fun
thing I was talking about. Like you could have said like you're the dumb fuck but you turned it on yourself in the example. It's wholesome. It's nice. I like it.
Well, yeah, I know my role. Shit. I'm not. Who do you think you are? I am.
You know who you are? You haven't seen Game of Thrones, so this is not going to hit on you. But
might have seen Game of Thrones. I've seen I saw like 4 seasons. You know what happened?
Okay,
I started watching it like in the middle of season 3, and then I caught up when season 4 started. So then I watched all through season 4, and then when season 5 started, I couldn't remember anything that was going on, and it just lost me. So I was like, when it's all done, I'll rewatch everything.
Not worth watching because they ruined it at the end. But you know how wholesome Sam was, but he was fucking useless in a fight. And I need you to talk about how much of a dickhead I am so that the skewing of that's one thing that this is a great... I know we're talking about things we want to do. Here's something I want you to do. Because you're so great and I'm so mean, I look like a jalapeno pepper of a piece of shit. Like, too hot, too spicy. If you shat on me more...
If you only knew the comments that I hide from you.
I know.
I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen.
I'll never see them. So, fire away. Fire away your load right into the emptiness of internet space. And good luck to you figuring out how that makes you feel better. Yes, but no, that's my point. I'm bad at I conflated on a podcast we did with beautiful Ed Driscoll, Barry White and Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow pattern? Man, it must have been a lot of banging fucking young girls. That guy was an animal.
What's that?
Barry Manilow, that guy was an animal. Love him.
Oh.
Yeah, what pattern did you write for him? I want to hear
this.
He was
banging young girls, you said?
Yeah, hell yeah. Barry Manilow?
I don't think he means underage. I think he just...
No, not
him.
No offense, but I don't think he means girls. Barry is openly gay, so...
was he?
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking Barry White?
Okay. Well, yeah.
I was thinking Barry White.
I didn't know about.
I was like, God, a pattern for Barry White. Sorry, I had Barry White in my head. I was like, that must have been intense. Which is a white gay man and a black stallion of a man who just fucking is the best singer of all time. Both great though, but that's how fucking dumb I am. And you were like, oh, he just means another thing. Where I would have been like, look how dumb this stupid little piece of shit is. He was poor when he went to Lawrence schools. Everybody made fun of him every day. So you could give me nothing like that.
I was very concerned at that point, based on what you said, thinking that it was misconstrued, and I was like, that guy is going to fucking go, nope, out, done.
I will clear a chat room. It's we were just, so this is the thing. Here's a podcast behind the view. So my favorite podcasts that we do are ones that are silly, that we go off like this one. We're all over the place. That's my favorite ones. I love ones like this. I think we get the most compliments on ones like this. But when you're interviewing like a real like Emmy award-winning writer, like I don't even want to say it like that, but just like a person that is more seriously going to come on and want to introspectively talk about themselves, I get uncomfortable in the middle of it when I'm like, I haven't said something weird in a while, and I gotta rein that in because but I like it. I think that the weird wild cardness of it makes it interesting, but I also think that there are some people every once in a while that are just gonna want to hear a good interview, and that'd be on my list of things I want to improve.
Yeah, I could see. I think that's why we work so well together, because I think in this setting, I'm not as off the cuff. You know, like you're like super off the, like you're fucking out there.
I'm off the cuff.
But in this setting,
what
especially
the fuck does that mean? I was trying to turn that around in an interesting way and be like, I'm not only off the cuff, I'm off the meh. But I don't know what that even means at all. Off the cuff, like a hand's off the cuff. Is that what
I mean?
It means?
That is your cuff, right?
Yeah. I'm off the cuff. I'm on drugs. If that's what that means.
But lost my train of thought there.
Gotcha, bitch.
What I was saying was, so in this setting, so like you're more off the cuff. You're more like, whatever, you can fucking go this way. In this setting, I am more of a like laser focused, especially when we have like a guest or whatever. Like I'm laser focused on keeping everything, and we say this all the time before we start recording. Anthony will always say, I'm going to take us off tangents. Wayne's here to rein us back in. I'm like a fucking sheepdog. And I take that seriously. I love the going off the cuff stuff. I love that. That's great.
We need a sheepdog for this fucking shit colored sheep that is just out there banging his head up against a tree going. Can we make it the intro?
Jesus. So,
it's not okay if the sheep says it. You can bleep it. I'm sorry.
So I watch very intently when we're interviewing people, and some people doesn't matter. You know, like we had Nick on. Like Nick's not. Nick Taco, or even Nick Powell, either of the Nicks. You know, you don't have to watch them as hard, but you have some other people, some more not to say more reputable, but some more people that might have a little more detrimental effects on them from Anthony doing what he just did. And I try to watch them when we're recording and pay attention.
You haven't cut that. Sorry. Don't even mention it again.
I'm not cutting it. We're not monetized. Fuck it.
Yeah, people would be mad at me because I think if I did it as ants, if ants did that, I think it'd be funny. But you can't do that as a goat. Or a sheep. Too close. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, I pay very close attention, and if I see like the wandering gaze or whatever, like looking, not them.
That is what I thought at first. I was like, wandering gaze? Where? Where?
I saw the look in your face. If I see a wandering gaze on the on the guest. I try to rein it back in to make sure that we don't lose their attention and try to, end it early or whatever. But
You don't want to lose their attention or of the wandering gaze.
yeah. I forget why we were talking about that, but
I don't know why either, but I'm having a great time.
tangents.
That should be
So-
the name of this episode. Tangents.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Right.
So, what is something going back? So, we talked about a little bit about what we like, episodes that we might want to do, or styles that we might want to do. And I do say I really enjoy the guests. We have a shit ton of guests lined up, even more that we haven't scheduled yet. And I love that. I love the variety that we have, being able to talk to everything from other open mic comics to, bookers and writers on TV shows and authors. All these people that we've had has been fantastic. But what is something that we're doing that you think we could do better, that we shouldn't do, or
Well, I do think we're fucking awesome, so it's a tough question. It's kind of like when they ask you at school, they're like, or at work, they're like, what do you think you can improve about yourself? And you're like, I don't know, Tim, you're fucking 52 and you drive the 1991 Toyota Corolla, and you're asking me what I can do better about myself, which seems to be a very stupid fucking question. So that's how I feel about that question. But I think that one thing we could do better at is getting together more often on the podcast. I think it's essential that we eventually move to we're in the same room while we're doing this. And that's so much harder, so much more of an undertaking, so much more technically involved in order to get the sound right every time and all that setup. But I do think that's the evolution of the podcast, to be conversational in person cannot be replicated over a different space. Just can't be. There's always that little delay in there and all that kind of stuff. We do a good job. I think a lot of people have a harder time doing the over the internet ones, like just said that stupidly. Over the internet ones, like Zoom, like you can really tell, like one person will sound really shitty and all that. And that is a testament to the beginnings of our podcast. We are, we still have technical difficulties because you do, but I think that we're way more consistent now. So yeah, I said something bad and something good. It's a compliment sandwich. Fuck you.
yeah, I agree with that. I think an in person would be nice. That's definitely a time sync type of thing. With both of us having families and all that, getting out an extra night to go do that is tough, and which is nice in a virtual world. We can do this anytime. We're an hour and a half away from each other. I think if we were ever to do that, we'd have to do multiple episodes a night just to make it worth it. We couldn't do that once a week. We'd have to do that like once.
We do it once a month. Yeah, we just do it
Once a month. Yeah,
and and then we bring maybe once a month, have a guest come in once a month, so it's technically twice, but that's not bad. 2 times a month.
Yep. One thing I kind of started talking about. One thing, I do like that we have so many guests, and I love that aspect of it. But I think a little more of a variety of episode. Like we were talking about different things we can do to like change it up a little bit. I think would be kind of good.
It's tough because we get like right now, how many guests do we have booked in advance?
How many do we have booked in advance?
Yeah, like 6.
Like
right?
on
5,
the books?
6?
Right now it's 6, yeah.
Yeah, so we have 6 people planned out, which means that we either have to hold they're every week apart type of thing. And so we either have to hold their video, and they're going to wonder when that's going to come out, or not care, maybe. But maybe they would. I would. Or we have to, like, in 6 weeks do another episode that's a topic episode. So it is weird. Like, that's where putting out 3 episodes a week does help you, because you can kind of ration them that way. And it's just in the leaner months. Like, go through Christmas when you do a podcast and you realize that for 3 weeks you're not going to be able to do this because you're just every night doing something. It is good to be able to stockpile them if you only have once a week. So.
Yeah, the only problem with that is you have some episodes like we're gonna have to re-record, but the Gringo Poppy, the one that we recorded.
Yeah, we did that's a great one. We should talk about that because that's something that was the only episode second. All right, we haven't released 2 episodes ever,
Yeah.
right? That we recorded. So we should talk about this. Yeah, as much
The first one was a UFO episode.
No. Was it?
Oh no, there's 3 we
3
haven't
episodes.
released. We did it. So we did a UFO episode that I lost the
That was
file
so
to.
good. That might have been the best episode we ever did to this
That was
day.
so fun. I literally fell out of my chair laughing at one point because it had wheels on it, and I like leaned over, and the fucking thing fell out. It was all on camera, and I fucking lost all of it. It sucks. Yeah, I
wonder,
clicked
that was the first time I called you a piece of shit. I think it evolved from there. So if you wonder why, it's on you.
Yeah, we did that, and then we had one other episode that I think some things were said that were asked not to release that episode, so we re-recorded it.
Yeah, guest episode that sometimes those go south.
And then the other one was the Gringo Poppy. I think we were just looking for something to have in the in the bank. I think we had recorded 2 other. What's that?
It felt like punching down. That's the weird thing about that. But
It really did.
like-
So I think that night we had a guest. We did another episode, and that was right around Christmas. I think we were trying to get some stuff in, so we had stuff to release. And I think you might have smoked a little too much. I might have drank a little too much, and we got fucking really nasty. So we ended up not recording that.
Smoking too much, guys. This podcast, Justin George, friend of the podcast, Justin George, made a good. He made a good reference to how goddamn fucking high I was in the topic episodes, and how reined in a little bit. I'm still high as hell when we were interviewing guests, but I'm like Emperor Penguin tuxedo high when I'm with the guests, where I can hold it together and be cute. You know what I mean? Like you could see me waddle around a little bit and get you a little excited. But when we're doing topic episodes and it's just you I gotta talk to, holy shit, do I IV weed into my body.
Yeah, you try to have a little bit of respect when we have somebody on. By you, I mean the royal you. I mean us. We. What up?
What up, Mo? We should get you absolutely hammered on a podcast. That would be pretty.
Who, me?
Yeah. Like I'll rein it in. Like you will go drunk tangents. Like what if we did like we're gonna rip off everything. We already did interdimensional cable with our fake ads because we did steal that. It's the only voice I know is that old timey the stupid voice there that sounds just like the fucking guy from Rick and Morty. And bad look right now. Sound like that guy. That's for fucking sure. Where's I going with this? Rick and Morty. Oh yeah. Yeah, what I was going with is that we tried different avenues of different. I don't know where I was going. I thought I got it back. I was like, I got it. Well, I was trying to say that there's some things we do that. No, still got it. Third time, missed it. Drugs.
So that is another thing that I really did enjoy. We were doing the fake ads for a while.
Gotta bring those back.
And I still have a backlog of those. It's a lot to edit those and put them in. This week's episode of Open Mic Pain is brought to you by Beta Centauri, the blue origin for CHUCKS.
Do you ever sit on your porch sipping iced tea, wondering why the only bull you can get to face fuck your wife is Jerry from next door, and you're thinking, I need bigger, I need better, I want to see Jerry's globules of floating jism go across space and time? Well, we're here for you at Beta Centauri System CHUCKS for the Stars, where we will send your wife into space to get fucked by Jerry and put a telescope on the ground for you to be able to watch it. You will look through and see from space and stars, probably separated by a little bit of time production, your wife actually having an orgasm in space. Some say that she cracks the time-space continuum with her vagina. Come to us, Beta. And we thought they would get more views or something like that. Like we released them as reels, and then it was like, just didn't get anywhere. So,
yeah, I would still like to keep up with them because I thought they were funny. I enjoyed them, but yeah, I don't know.
You gotta do just what we think is funny, motherfuckers. Well, okay, we're at a pretty good length for a topic episode. Anything else you want to talk about more with the podcast? Maybe
I don't think so.
We got like let's say 1 year goal, because we're gonna record this again in a year for the podcast. On June 11th,
Yeah, 1 year goal. Well, one of the things I really wanted to do, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe down the line. I thought for the 1 year it would be fun if we did like a live podcast somewhere. I was thinking like One Broadway or something like that, and then having like some of the guests that we had on do a comedy show. Like do some time, right? So do One Broadway. We'll do like a hour, 2 hour podcast or whatever, and then we put on a show.
Yeah, like we'll rip off Kill Tony. That's our next rip off. Have them do a minute they're willing to do on, to burn.
Yeah, but I don't think that's in the cards for this year.
No, it might not be.
It's coming up. It's coming up fast, and I think that takes a lot more planning. But maybe it is. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, like most people who ask questions, I didn't care about your answer. I was just waiting to say what I wanted to say, which was that I think that a goal that we could have for the 1 year would be 100 subscribers. That'd be nice. So why don't you out there, all of you, who are just listening to this and are going, why does everybody say subscribe on the video? You know why we have to do that? Because if we don't, and if you don't, what happens is YouTube takes our video and we give it to them, and they throw it in the trash. And you have to come seek it and find it, and it's so hard to get out of the trash and the bum fights and all the things that are way more interesting to watch that we have. But if you do it, then the algorithm goes, these are more people we can corrupt with far left liberal views, and because of that, we are going to push this podcast up. So please do that.
That was something we talked about. I don't know if you're still down for this, but we had talked about at some point, if we get to X amount of subscribers, we would do an episode or 2 episodes where we would listen to our first sets, or for you it would be your second set because I think we lost your first set. I
have my first set.
We would put it on, listen to it, and then just make fun of it, really.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is I would have to do it remote if we did that podcast, because I'd have to kill myself right afterwards. So it would have to be like on the it'd have to be like on the top of a building or something, so I can
I'm still doing jokes from that, by the way.
I know, yeah. Well,
they're much different, but one of them's not even that bad. Isn't even that different, but
yeah, one isn't. Yeah, you're right.
One's very close.
The only thing I'm doing that's anywhere near it is trying to have a girl. I think I did pretty. I don't know if I did it in the first set, but I did it in one of the first sets. That was the early one, but it was
definitely in your second, I believe.
Yeah, that's close to the same thing. But I was gonna say that like my immigrant parents bit, drown box. Well, I used to tell a story. The first thing I did I'll say this because I don't say it anymore. So I have a bit about my parents being immigrants and how weird it is to raise in that environment because it's different. And how I used to illuminate that is my dad, we got him a humane trap in order to get animals out of his house. And he used it to drown them. And and he was so confused on why they would, like, he was like, this is for drowning. And I'm like, no. That's for releasing them humanely. And he's like, why would you do that? And so I used to say that on stage, and people would be like, what the fuck? You can't say that. So I learned. But that morphed all the way into a bit I do all the time now that I love.
Yeah, that's amazing how that works. That'd be a fun episode too. It'd be like the evolution of a bit. Like if we each picked one that we do and go from like, hey, this is what it used to be and this is what it is now.
Oh man, yeah, if I can listen back to my first set and recite it how I said it at first and then how I do it now, well, God, that'd be such a different bit. Well, listen, everybody. I think that this has been, and I haven't said this in a while because I've been way too high to remember, but now I'm just high enough. This has been a worthy step in the quest for laughs, right?